Hey friends, this is uh, another art class that we're going to be doing a really cool project. So today's project is based on the book The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. So we're going to be doing a really cool project that is based on this book.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. "There." Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Vashti thought for a moment. "Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name." The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that." She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting. Lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on a bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots were quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist." "I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Sign it." The end.
All right, so the materials that you are going to need to make our own dot are going to be 2 pieces of paper. If you have thick paper, like thicker paper, that works best because we're going to use our watercolors today. So hopefully you guys have your watercolor paint, a brush, and you'll need a cup for your water to go in. And if you don't have access to your watercolors, that's okay. You can use any kind of color you want. But I'm going to show you how to do it in watercolor.
Hey there, friends. Today we're going to be starting a new project using our watercolor paints, and we're going to do a project based on the book we just saw read to us called the dot. So to start off, you're going to draw a dot or a circle on a piece of white paper. If you don't feel like you can draw a big dot, you can use something from around the house, maybe an old CD or a lid. So once you have your circular kind of object to trace, or if you're just drawing it, you're going to use light pressure and don't push too hard when you're tracing or drawing your dot. So I'm doing it very lightly. This is so I can erase my dot later if I need to. So I'm sorry if it's a little hard to see right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to take our watercolor paint and we're going to get our cup of water that we have to have nearby, and you're going to just get it wet and go ahead and you're going to fill in the positive space of this dot. So if you need to pause to get your materials, go ahead and pause. So if you're watching this and you're ready to go, we're just going to start painting and decorating our dot. So I'm going to try some red. And when you paint with watercolor, you want to make sure that your brush is wet and your paint is nice and watery. So your dot can be all one color. It can be rainbow color. It can be anything you want. So I'm just doing this side of it red. So I wanted to do the dot very lightly in pencil before so that you don't really see it. So here I have just like a moon kind of a shape. You can switch to another color or keep it all red. Your dot is your own. It could be any color at all that you want. So I'm just kind of adding green, just any color that I feel like it really. Coloring in my dot. It's okay if you go outside the lines. It's your dot. You can make it however you want it to be. So you can add purple, yellow, red, blue. You can mix them all together. We're just playing and getting to know this watercolor paint. So you always want to clean your brush between the colors by stirring it in your cup and then putting it on your paint and getting your paint nice and wet and applying it to the paper. So you can do a thin layer of paint so your paper still shows through a little bit, or you can do more coats. And this is your dot. It can be whatever you want it to be. And if you get a little outside the dot, that's fine. It's your dot. It can be messy, it can be neat, it can be one color, 3 colors, who knows. So once you have your positive dot, meaning that it's the item that we're painting is the dot here, then you're going to get your other paper ready by doing a similar thing. So we're going to put that one off to dry. I'm going to get my second picture and I'm going to trace a dot again. Again, using light pressure, not pushing too hard on the paper. And you're going to, instead of painting the inside of your dot this time, you're going to paint the negative space. So that means you're just going to get your water and your paint, and instead of painting the inside, you're just going to paint all of the outside. This is more space to paint, and you can make it however you want. This time we're leaving the dot white. So it's still a dot, but it's the outside that we're going to decorate. So if you want to trace around your dot first, you can. Or if you want to just leave it for the end and work your way from the outside in, it doesn't matter, whatever works for you. So I'm just going in, having a good time using the paint. I'm not smushing the brush down too hard. I'm just going back and forth, holding it kind of like a pencil. Go back and forth. You want to add enough water so that your paint is painty, meaning that it can spread and it's like just gliding across. If you have not enough water, your paint will be really thick, but it won't really be the same as what we need it to be. So it's just any color you want. So see, we're leaving the white on the inside alone. We're not going to paint on the inside of the dot because we're using positive and negative space to show the dot. So in the book, you can remember that she made a lot of different dots. And a couple of her dots were just like this, where they painted the outside only. So you can go fast or slow. You can do dots, you can draw pictures. Maybe I want to do a K. Maybe I like K, or maybe you want to do a smiley face. You can make this outside whatever you want. You blend it in. It kind of gets a little smudgy, but that is kind of the beauty of the watercolor. It's very nice to paint with. It kind of just like glides and floats everywhere. So I'm going to add my last bit of color. If it gets too dry, just add some more water. The paper you want to use should be kind of thicker, but it still does get a little bit warped, meaning that it gets kind of curly, but that's okay because we're just practicing with watercolors today. So there we go. There's a picture of a dot in positive and negative. So I'll bring them up. So this is my negative one, and this is my positive one. So they're both dots, but they're very different. All right, thank you.
So hopefully you guys could have fun painting with watercolors, and you can let your paintings dry and display your beautiful artwork. And if you'd like to send me any pictures, you can always email me or upload it to Facebook. But yeah, this is Miss Gray, hoping that you had a great art. Thanks.